7 sunken ship catastrophes horrible than Titanic. SS Sultana. The side-wheel steamship SS Sultana crashed in the Mississippi River just north of Memphis, Tennessee, on April 27, 1865, resulting in the greatest maritime disaster in American history. Just weeks before, when the American civil battle had ended and repatriated Union prisoners of the battle, had suffered inhumane treatment and were eager to return to their families in the North. The federal government generously compensated steamship operators for each soldier they transported in order to ease at travel. This technique resulted in terrible levels of corruption as well as the disregard for the most fundamental safety issues. In Sultana's case, this resulted in poor boiler maintenance and carrying as many as 2,300 passengers, more than 6 times the vessel's rated capacity. Hundreds of people perished in the initial impact when the overworked boiler burst and additional people were trapped as the overcrowded decks fell. Despite the fact that 1,800 lives were lost, the Lincoln assassination story continued to dominate news coverage, which essentially overshadowed the catastrophe. MV Donna pause. Ferries move hundreds of millions of passengers around Southeast Asia each year, and maritime trade has been essential to the region's growth and development. However, accidents have become all too frequent. Just in the 21st century, international regulatory organizations reported 17,000 fatalities as a result of ferry sinkings in Southeast Asian waterways. The passenger ferry MV Doa Paz and the oil tanker Mount Vector collided on December 20, 1987, in the Tablas Strait, some 110 miles, 180 kilometers, south of Manila, resulting in the greatest such accident, indeed, the worst civilian maritime disaster in history. An estimated 4,300 passengers, more than double the ship's stated capacity, swarmed onto the Doa Paz before it departed Tacloban, Philippines, eager to arrive at their destinations before the Christmas holiday. The Vector was not carrying a lookout, no senior officers were on the Doa Paz's bridge at the time of the incident, and both ships were probably without a working radio. Despite excellent visibility and generally calm seas, neither ship made any attempt to communicate with the other. The 8,800 barrels of oil and gasoline on the Vector caught fire after the accident, quickly engulfing both ships. SS Qianxia. The Chinese Civil War had switched sides in late 1948, and before the People's Liberation Army advanced on Shanghai, thousands of nationalists fled the city. The SS Qianxia was officially carrying 2,150 refugees on December 4, 1948, about over its rated capacity, but thousands more had crammed onto the steamer before it departed the ports. Most likely as a result of hitting a World War II mine, the ship burst at the opening of the Huangpu River. Although some 1,000 passengers were saved, the blast and subsequent sinking resulted in up to 4,000 fatalities. RMS Lusitania. The RMS Lusitania was struck by a German U-boat on May 7, 1915, and destroyed in just 18 minutes. Making it possibly the most well-known victim of Germany's strategy of unrestricted submarine warfare during World War I. The Germans considered the ship to be a valid target since they thought it was being used to transfer military supplies. Evidence has since emerged that the Lusitania was, in fact, carrying more than 170 tons of artillery shells and ammunition at the time of its sinking. However, the loss of 1,198 passengers, including 128 Americans, ultimately acted as the starting point for American engagement in World War I. The White Ship. Crossing the English Channel is routine in the 21st century. A rail trip via the Channel Tunnel only takes about 30 minutes, and a high-speed ferry may complete the voyage in 90 minutes. During the early 12th century, the crossing was significantly riskier, therefore this was not the case. Around 300 people perished when the White Ship sank off the coast of Normandy on November 25, 1120. Although the number may appear small in contrast to earlier maritime catastrophes, William the Atheling, the only legitimate son and heir to King Henry I of England, was among those who perished. After William's demise upended Henry's intentions for the crown, a civil war broke out as rival claims fought for the throne after Henry's demise in 1135. In addition to those slain in combat, hundreds reportedly starved to life as a result of the unrest. It wouldn't be until Henry's grandson, Henry II, rose to power in 1154 that peace was truly restored. Yamato battleship. The Japanese battleship Yamato, built in 1941, served in the Second WW. The Yamato was blasted and struck by U.S. carrier-based aircraft on April 7, 1945, about 300 kilometers south of the Japanese island of Kyushu, causing it to collapse. The ship was split in two as a result of the ammunition on board shattering during the sinking. The ship finally sank after receiving 13 torpedo blows and 8 jet fighter hits, drowning 2,498 people. Over 1,000 more crew members perished in the same strike when the light cruiser Yahagi and 4 destroyer escorts were also lost. SS Eastland. On July 24, 1915, the SS Eastland overturned on the Chicago River, resulting in one of the greatest maritime disasters in American history. The Eastland, which was carrying Western Electric workers to a company picnic, sank just yards from the shore. More than 800 of the 2,500 passengers who were thought to be on board at the time lost their lives.